All right, a lot of people are weighing in both on the left side and the right side about the woke sermon delivered by Marianne Edgar Budd in the Washington National Cathedral, but nobody seems to be really wanting to talk about what's really going on here. So we're going to go through it. We're going to listen to what Marianne Edgar Budd had to say as she appeared to be chastising Donald Trump as he sat in the crowd with his family. We're going to look at what she said, and we're going to look at the looks on Donald Trump's face, on J.D. Vance's face, and the rest of the extended incoming Trump administration / family. This is going to be fun. Stick around.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God.
Now, I hate to put a wrinkle in this sermon, but let me express, because obviously they can't. The last time I saw this much Botox and filler in one place, I was watching a herd of cows being prepped for the county fair. And let me tell you, it was utterly ridiculous.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
In the name of our God, she says. In the name of whose God? And why are we all meeting at the cathedral in Washington? What would America think if they entered a Buddhist temple in Washington, or maybe a mosque in Washington? What happened to separation of church and state? How come nobody's talking about politicians walking into church buildings pretending that they love God? What God, what hand of providence is Donald Trump talking about? And is it the same hand of providence? Is it the same God that Reverend Budd is talking about? Probably not. I mean, take a look around. There's a lot of different churches saying a lot of different things. Even within the sphere of Christianity, you've got one Bible, but a whole bunch of people walking away with different interpretations. You got the Baptists saying the Church of Christ is going to hell. You got the Pentecostals saying that the Baptists are going to hell. You got the Catholics saying unless you bow down to Mary that you're going to hell. So, we got a whole lot of different kind of gods going on here, Miss Edgar Budd. So which God are you talking about? Hey, Donnie, what God are you talking about? And oh, by the way, I thought this was politics, and there's not supposed to be a mixture between the state and the church. Or is the state a church in its own right? Maybe we should consider that. Maybe it's the most dangerous superstition of them all.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation.
Look at Trump's face. Trump is sitting there like, oh, brother, I didn't see that one coming. Oh, didn't you, Donnie? Did you really not see this coming? Tiffany's looking down going, oh, boy. J.D. Vance is going to be looking over at Donald Trump going, what you think, boss? I mean, is she going off script, or is this all part of the script? See, the state is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everyone else. And the church seems to be the exact same way. It almost seems like there is a mixture between church and state. They're constantly talking about Christianity. And a whole lot of people who are Christians in the world would lose their ever-loving minds if they start talking positively about Islam. So what's the deal?
But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are.
Wait a minute, Miss Budd. Hey, Marianne Edgar Budd. Nobody pays taxes. You pay your phone bill, you pay your water bill, you pay your electricity, you pay your mortgage, you pay your car payment. You ain't paying taxes. They put a gun to your head and they say, you better do it, boy. If you don't do it, we're going to come after you. That's not payment. It's like saying, oh, yeah, I was at the bus stop today and a thief came and stole my wallet. You don't go, yeah, I paid the thief at the bus station today. That's ridiculous. So Miss Edgar Budd is carrying water for the state. You pay your taxes. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that there are those taxes here, because what is taxation? It's theft. When you have a gun in your hand and you're forcing people to give you the money, it's called extortion. It's the extortion fee from the tax cattle. But we're going to just gloss over that. We're going to talk about gender ideology right now. You know, there's a whole lot of people out there that have different sexual preferences that are really scared to death. You know that? We got these illegals over here. They're good neighbors. They pay their taxes. We don't need to be taking them away and deporting them. We got our morals freaking skewed in this country, and nobody wants to talk about what we really need to talk about. Why? Because our brains are being pickled 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by the propaganda coming out of the fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird MK Ultra media. You knew I was going to say it in this video, didn't you?
Are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here.
Have mercy, Mr. President. Have mercy on us. And then you got them after the service smiling at each other. Hey, that was a really good show, because it is a show. Let's face it. Let's be honest about it. Let's face the music. Let's call it as we see it. Let's not get embroiled in all this garbage about how this is somehow legitimate. No, this is separation of church and state. It really is. Really. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of a religion. Then why are politicians constantly going around respecting the establishment of a religion? And is the Episcopal Church a legitimate religion? Or is it filled with PEDOs? What about the Catholic Church? Isn't that filled with PEDOs? And yet that's usually the tenor and the flavor of the Christianity that politicians seem to want to hang out with. You don't see them going to a Pentecostal church or a Church of Christ or a Baptist church. They're going to some cathedral. They're going to the Episcopalian church where they're wearing the robes, giving us the idea that there is a separation between the peasants in the pews and the guys with the hosts, you know, doing little things to the altar boys that shouldn't be done. J.D. Vance's sudden turn of the head told it all as an Episcopalian bishop sermonized about having mercy on gay and transgender children while the nation's leaders listened. The new vice president turned to his wife, Usha, just as Marianne Edgar Budd, the left-wing Episcopal Bishop of Washington, uttered the line after she said children were fearing for their lives due to his return to power, and urged leaders to show mercy. Second Lady Usha looked straight ahead without engaging with her husband as online MAGA allies offered their own reactions to the video. It was plain to many of Vance's allies that he had a visceral reaction to the comments. Let's just call it what it is. J.D. Vance is dangling from the string of Peter Thiel. From Palantir, who wants the surveillance state, who beefs up security services for ISRA double hockey sticks. JD is all of us listening to that woke joke sermon, wrote Trump ally Benny Johnson on X. We know what Benny Johnson's all about. The post got over 500,000 views. JD's face says it all. Are you hearing this crap? Wrote MAGA aligned Crazy Vibes account. Also look askance, or with extreme suspicion and disapproval, great word, I haven't seen that word in a long, long time, was Trump daughter Tiffany Trump. Others, including First Lady Melania Trump and Donald Trump Jr., sat expressionless while Bishop Budd spoke. It came a day after Trump signed an executive order declaring that there are two, not 1,500, but two genders, and declaring a state of emergency at the border before a promised immigration crackdown. He also wrote, I don't know if it's an executive order, but basically codified that the only flag that we should be flying at state houses are not the the rainbow flag, but the American flag. I wonder if that also counts for if there's a fallen Thin Blue Line gang member. Are they going to not fly the Thin Blue Line flag of tyranny? I don't know. Kind of makes me wonder. Bud was also a Trump critic during George Floyd protests and spoke at memorial services for Senator John McCain. Trump turned in his own review on a brief comment after returning to the White House when asked what he thought of the service. And this is that response right here.
What did you think of the service?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They can do much better.
Actually, that was a pretty funny response. What did you think about it? I didn't think it was too exciting. Not a very good service. Not a very good service at all. Despite the awkward silence in the cathedral, Bishop Budd continued her stunning pro-migrant scolding of the president. She added, "Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all strangers once in a strange land." So leave your thoughts about this. I thought there was supposed to be separation of church and state. And if there is separation of church and state, why the heck is the state constantly mingling with the church? And why does the church have anything to do with the state? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a shirt, become a channel member, but more importantly, understand what your rights are and be willing to stand for your rights, because there are psychopaths who want to take those rights away. I will see you in the next video.